Good morning, and welcome back to another Saturday Somm-things with Mats. Hi, I'm Mats, and happy Veterans Day to everybody out there, especially those who have served our country in any capacity. We thank you. Today at Argonaut is going to be very busy, very fun. From noon until 3 o'clock, we're having Tito's do some dog tag engraving in honor of the veterans. And then from 11 to 3 today, we're having a Sailor Jerry's food truck in also honor of the veterans. And then today at 3 o'clock until 4 o'clock, I'm featuring some of my favorite Argonaut wines at the wine desk. The tasting is free, just bring your ID. So on with the show. Today I have a returning guest. Her name is Erin Willams. She works for Vintus, and these are 4 of her prized possessions that she's going to tell everybody about. So Erin, welcome back to the table.
Oh, thank you so much. I love being here, so thanks for having me.
You bet.
Today I thought we'd sort of go through 4 wines that are appropriate for Thanksgiving food. I don't know about you, but I always do all my food shopping next weekend, and this weekend is my booze shopping. So
Okay.
Thought we'd go through it and talk a little bit about each one and kind of how they, what I like about them for Thanksgiving. So should we get rolling?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Okay.
So we're going to start with the Juve Comp, the Reserva de la Familia. This is a really cool little wine. I kind of thought thematically on some of these and what makes Thanksgiving special. And so for this one, I really wanted to talk about celebration.
Right.
Celebration should be something that's accessible to everyone, which is why I think it's cool that we're doing a wine that's really affordable.
Sure.
But the family has been doing this wine for they've been making wine for over 200 years.
Right.
But it's a cool little bottling because they have some of the largest amount of Reserva Cava in all of Pinedes. Traditional grapes, of course, Parrietta, Macabeo, Girello. But that said, it sees 36 months on the aging, which I think is really cool because, a lot of the wines that are going to be affordable in bubbles to celebrate aren't going to have that kind of aging. So let's give it a little taste.
Mm-hmm.
That said, too, it's a really cool dry wine to start with. It is done absolutely brut nature, which basically means that there isn't any sugar on the dosage on the end.
I like this. You're getting brioche and lemon curd, a little bit of jasmine and tangerine, nectarine. It's so pleasant. And like Erin said, they've been doing this since 1796. Our country was 20 years old at the time.
Yeah.
So I just give them so much credit. It's dry, it's crisp, it's lively. It's affordable.
Yeah, well, and that brioche that you talk about is a really good point. That initial fermentation does seem malolactic. So it builds up that palate even though you don't have that sugary finish.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Number 2, kind of using this wine to talk about new traditions. The rosé was originally brought on as something for the American market, but it's now their flagship rosé.
I like it.
Marichelle Juve runs the entire operation now with her father. And this is a really cool little rosé that to me has dryness and body, but doesn't go once again into the overly sweet.
It's not.
But it's a really cool wine. Like if we're talking about starters on the bubbles, this one maybe we're building into apps.
Sure.
We're getting a little bit more complexity.
Right.
So I think it's a really cool option for that second course.
100% Pinot Noir, which is strange for a Spanish cava or a Spanish wine to have all Pinot Noir, but that said, it's just delicious. The pomegranates, the cranberries, the color. I mean, look at the color.
The color you were talking about, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like 100%
festive.
Pinot Noir.
Right.
It's a really cool, dark, beautiful color.
It's still nicely dry and just really balanced.
So this guy won't see as long of an aging.
Right.
The method traditional will be done for 15 months versus that 36. But that said, it's really purposely done. They really want to make sure that they're focusing on those characteristics that you just talked about. The roses, the florals, the pretty like strawberries and cherries.
Right. Pomegranates and hibiscus. It's just so fragrant and elegant. That's the word I'm using today.
I like elegant. Elegant is a good, thematic Thanksgiving word.
Yes.
So if we're moving on to our third wine, Pinot Noir is always, I don't know, it's always on my table for Thanksgiving.
Tradition.
It goes with turkey, it goes with stuffing, it goes with all of the cranberries, and can hold up to that. And this one, my little thematic thought on it is that it's blending differences, which is always important in Thanksgiving.
Because that could be your Thanksgiving table.
That could be your entire Thanksgiving table. But this one is Gary Farrell's Russian River. So Gary Farrell, when he started in 1982, was thinking very much the way that the old world thought. In the sense of having single plots, but his Russian River is sort of a blending of all of that.
Right.
Teresa Heredia has been at the helm since 2012 on this wine.
And she's the winemaker.
And she's the winemaker.
And she was just featured, not to interrupt you, in the last issue of, not featured, she was pictured in the last issue of Wine Spectator magazine as another female winemaker extraordinary. I mean, her talent just showcases in this wine. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, she's had decades of experience in cool climate Pinot Noir. So coming on with Gary Farrell was an absolute, perfect fit for her. This is going to be, of course, 100% Pinot Noir, like most. It'll see about 12 months and 40% new oak. So you get a little bit of that sort of toastiness, if you will. But to me, the really pretty, flowers and fruit are still right front and center.
It's a little rustic. I think it's almost Burgundian.
Yeah.
But you still, like you said, have the fruits, the cassis, the licorice, the blackberries, blueberries, cherries. It's all there, but it's smooth and decadent.
Well, and the different sites that they go are all across Sonoma. So you're working on something that's really cool and foggy, but then stuff that's a little bit warmer too.
Right.
So finally, this one was the most important part about Thanksgiving. This is family. So Tour Bayard comes from the Millard family. They have been working on the Right Bank Bordeaux for quite some time, but this came by way of the daughter's husband.
Right.
His family had been working with this project for a very long time, named after a really cool big stone tower in the middle of the vineyard. This is going to be predominantly Merlot. As you might guess. But, it's going to also have some really cool old vine Cab Franc and some Malbec in there as well.
It tastes rustic. It tastes old world. It tastes very Bordeaux.
Yeah, because I think often, with Thanksgiving, you don't necessarily want to go into big cabs.
True.
You've got so many light, delicate, pretty things on the table. This, to me, will satisfy the people who want something a little bit heavier, a little bit bigger.
Right.
But not too much so.
Yeah. I always tell people who come into the store when they're lost or confused or wondering what they should pair with what entree or what course or appetizer, my mantra is, you drink what you like and you like what you drink. Who's to say you can't have a beautiful Pinot Noir with fish?
Yes.
You drink and eat what you want because that's the fun part about it.
Well, and how are you going to be surprised otherwise?
Right.
That's half the joy of drinking wine. Is going, oh my goodness, I didn't think this would work, and it does,
Yeah, I'm getting lavender, a little toasted sesame, some oak, a little caramel, and a lot of forest floor.
Yeah, I think that sort of mushroomy, brambly, walking through the forest after rain kind of thing. I always pick that up on this.
It's almost expected, but it delivers. It really does. And it's also very, very affordable because, Miss Sheila always puts these on sale today through the time that we put them out to the public. Which,
well, and I always think Saint Emilion is such an awesome region for that.
It really is. And this has just been a really tasty and unique lineup, Erin.
Yeah, well,
just so grand.
I wanted to make sure that, we're getting the wines in that you might be thinking of in the next couple weeks.
Right, and we encourage people to shop early because it's best to do so. So come on in, come on down anytime. And then I have one last toast. Grab your champagne. I mean, this is for all the veterans, all the people who shop at Argonaut. We appreciate your support. And Erin, may all of your pains be champagne.
Thank you.
So cheers, and we'll see you soon.